The thing that's keeping you stuck right now isn't laziness, it isn't distraction, and it definitely isn't a lack of information. It's the exact opposite. You know that feeling when you watch a video about productivity, or read a book about habits, or listen to a podcast about mindset, and for about 20 minutes afterward, you feel like you've changed, like something clicked. You feel sharper, more motivated, like you finally get it this time. And then, 2 days later, you're back in the same patterns, doing the same nothing. So you go find another video, another book, another thread, and the cycle keeps going. You keep consuming, you keep feeling like you're growing. But your actual life looks exactly the same as it did 6 months ago. There's a specific reason this keeps happening. And once you see it, it completely changes how you think about learning. Here's where it gets weird. Your brain doesn't actually distinguish between learning something and doing something. At least not in the moment. When you watch a video explaining discipline, your brain processes that information and gives you a reward, a small hit of dopamine. You feel like you accomplished something. And neurologically, you kind of did. You built a new connection. You understood a concept. That part is real. But here's the problem. Your brain gave you the reward before you did anything with it. It's like getting a trophy before the race even starts. So now you feel satisfied. And when you feel satisfied, you don't feel urgency. And when there's no urgency, you don't act. You just go learn the next thing. And now you're stuck in a loop. Learn. Feel good. Don't act. Feel stuck. Learn again. It's clean. It's predictable. And it feels like progress. But every time you go back to learning, you think you're fixing the problem, when in reality, you're feeding it. And that's just the surface, because the real problem shows up somewhere you wouldn't expect. Learning feels productive because it is. Just not in the way you think. There's a difference between productive and useful. Productive means something is happening. Useful means it's leading somewhere. And learning by itself is productive, but not useful. You're building mental models, expanding your understanding, collecting frameworks. That's not nothing, but it's also not the thing. It's preparation for the thing. And most people get stuck in permanent preparation mode because preparation is comfortable. It's safe. You can't fail at watching a video. You can't get rejected by a book. There's no risk in learning. And that's exactly why your brain prefers it. Your brain isn't trying to make you successful. It's trying to keep you safe. And learning is the safest activity that still feels like effort. You sit down, you take notes, you highlight things, you even feel exhausted afterward. And your brain goes, yeah, we worked hard today. But nothing in your real life actually moved. You didn't move forward. You just got really good at understanding what moving forward looks like. And those are two completely different things. Quick side note, if this kind of stuff messes with your head, the way it messes with mine, hit subscribe. I break down ideas like this every week that completely reframe how you see things. All right, back to it. Here's where it flips. The addiction to learning doesn't just waste your time. It actually makes you worse at doing things. And yeah, that sounds dramatic, but stay with me. The more you learn about something before doing it, the more your brain builds expectations. You've watched 15 videos on starting a business. Now in your head, you have this clean, perfect image of how it's supposed to feel. So when you finally try it, and it's messy, confusing, and doesn't match the image, your brain panics. This doesn't feel right. This isn't what I learned. And instead of pushing through, you retreat. Back to the videos, back to the books, back to the clean world, where everything makes sense, because the information world is organized. The real world isn't. And the more time you spend in that clean version, the less tolerance you have for the messy one. You start preferring the map over the territory. You study the map, you refine it, you compare it, but you never actually walk the ground. And here's the truth about maps. They're always wrong. Not completely wrong, but wrong enough that the only way to see it is to walk the path yourself. The gap between knowing and doing isn't just about motivation, it's not just about discipline. It's about reinforcement. Learning without doing trains your brain to keep learning without doing. Every cycle strengthens the next one until it becomes automatic. Think about this. You probably know someone, or maybe it's you, who has read dozens of self-improvement books, but still feels behind. Someone who can explain discipline, but isn't disciplined. Who understands habits, but hasn't built one that sticks? And people say they're lazy. But that's not true. They're not lazy. They're overfed. Their brain has consumed so much information, it genuinely believes the work is already done. The understanding feels complete, so the doing feels unnecessary. Why build something you already understand? The reward already came. The loop already closed, and the motivation to act was spent on learning. That's the trap. Learning isn't the problem, but when it becomes the thing you do, instead of the thing you apply, it stops being a tool and becomes a hiding place. A comfortable one, a convincing one, but still a trap.